Dear children, next topic in this chapter is aliasing. In Python, variables refer to objects. The lists we create in Python are also objects we are referring to. Since lists are mutable, they can be modified. If we assign the elements of one list to another list, both shall refer to the same object. So in Python, variables always refer to a object. A variable always points to a object, like this way. Subject is a variable, it is pointing, there is a pointer, you can see this is pointing to an object. This is called the object of type list, where the data related to list subject is stored in the memory. So our variable will point to that particular location. That location here is a object of type list. So if we assign the elements of one list to another, both shall refer to the same object. Suppose here we have a list called subject. In that list, you can see this is the list subjects. In that, the elements are Hindi, English, Maths and History. Hindi, English, Maths, History. Then the elements of subjects list in memory are represented according to their index values. The elements of subjects list in memory are represented according to their index values. You can see the elements are represented according to their index value. That is, Hindi is at position 0, English at position 1, Maths at position 2 and History at position index 3. Since the list index always starts with 0, Hindi is stored at index value 0, English is stored at index 1, Maths at index 2 and History at index 3. Now we will create a temporary list, which is a copy of the already created list. Subjects by giving the statement as. Now we are creating a copy of this list. So the name of our list is subjects and we are creating a copy of this list. That is, the name of that list is temporary. So temporary is the name of the new list that we are creating by copying the contents of the list subjects. Now that can be done by writing the statement as temporary equal to subjects. Here equal to is the assignment operator, that is, the list subjects is being copied to another list temporary. Now both the list temporary and subjects contain the same data. By using this statement temporary equal to subjects, we are copying the contents of the list subjects to the list temporary. Copying the contents of the list subjects to the list temporary by using the assignment operator. Now both the list temporary is a list and subjects is a list. So both the list contain the same elements. Now since you can see here subjects is a list which is pointing to a object of a list containing different elements. Now since temporary is the copy of the list subject, both the list subject and temporary are pointing to the same object. You can see both the list subject and temporary are pointing to the same object of list. That is, that object of list contains they are pointing to the same object because both the list contains same data. So in memory location only one list is present and two variables are pointing to the same list. Two variables are pointing to the same list. Now we have two lists having the same set of values. In other words, temporary is an alias name for subject list. That is, temporary is an alias name for subject because both are pointing to the same location where the list is stored. Both temporary list and subject list are pointing to the same memory location where the subject list is stored. So both are pointing to the same memory location or both refers to the same memory location. So temporary is an alias name or an alternative name for subject list. Temporary is an alias name or alternate name for subjects. Now we can modify the contents of these lists by referring to its individual index values. Now suppose we have to modify temporary list by changing the subject Hindi to Sanskrit, which is stored at index 0 by giving the command as. Now here we have our temporary list as same as that of subject list. So in the 0th index it is Hindi. Now we are changing that Hindi to Sanskrit. Now that can be done as name of the list, then in square brackets the index. So the index is 0. Name of the list is temporary in square brackets 0 equal to in bracket Sanskrit. Now what happens? In the temporary list at 0th index Hindi is replaced by Sanskrit. In temporary list at 0th, temporary is just the name of the list that we have given, just a name given to a list. So from the list temporary, the value at 0th index is replaced by Sanskrit, that is Hindi is replaced by Sanskrit. Now when we print temporary, when we print this temporary list, you can see Sanskrit, English, Maths, History. Now when we print subjects is our previous list, first list. So when we print subjects, you can see there also the 0th index value, that is Hindi is being replaced by Sanskrit. We have replaced Hindi by Sanskrit in our temporary list, but you can see in the subjects list also Hindi is being replaced by Sanskrit. This had happened because both lists are pointing to the same memory location. Both subjects and temporary are pointing to the same memory location. So if we replaced Hindi in temporary list, subjects list is also affected because they are pointing to the same memory location, same place, change is taking place. So that is because when we print subjects, Hindi is being replaced by Sanskrit. Now it is evident from the given example that the modifications made in the temporary list are reflected in the subject list as well, since the same list is having two different names, because same list is having the two different names. So we can say that changes made with one list with one alias get reflected in other alias. Changes made with one alias get reflected in other alias. Although this behavior can be useful, yet it is sometimes unexpected or undesirable. So, aliasing should be avoided. The above list can be modified and represented with two values at one index position. Now, our list subject is being modified by making it list. Can you see? This is a nested list. Subject codes is a nested list, that is a list inside a list is called nested list. A list inside a list is called nested list. So you can see in our previous list subject, it only contained the names of different subjects. Now it is being modified, and at each index position, that is at 0th index, you can see two values are there. Instead of Sanskrit alone, it contains two values, Sanskrit comma 43. Then instead of English only, it has two values, English comma 85. Likewise for maths and history also. Now, this type of representation represents two-dimensional way. List is represented in a two-dimensional manner. Now, if we print, it is represented as two-dimensional manner, that is each list represents each row. Each list represents each row, and each element in one list, number of elements in a single list represents columns. So, Sanskrit, English, Maths, History are in a single column, then 43, 85, 65, 36 is present in another column, and Sanskrit 43 is the first row, then English comma 85 is the second row, Maths comma 65 is another row, and History comma 36 is another row. So, if we print subject codes in square bracket 1, you can see the output is a list containing two values, because this subject codes in bracket 1 represents the index of the main list. Index of the main list. In that 0th position there is a list. In 0th position, 0th index, there is a list containing two values, Sanskrit comma 43. Then in index position 1, there is again a list containing two values, English comma 85. When we print subject codes in square bracket 1, subject codes is the name of our list, then 1 is the index position of that list. So, at index position 1, at 0 Sanskrit comma 43, at 1 English comma 85. So, it will print the item at index position 1. So, item at index position 1 is a list containing English comma 85. Now, since it contains a nested list, it is considered as a two-dimensional manner. It is represented in two-dimensional manner. So, to represent a two-dimensional data, we need index values for rows and columns. So, if we print subject codes in square bracket, to represent two-dimensional data, we need two index. So, each index is represented in square brackets. To represent two-dimensional data, we need two index values. and each index value is represented in square brackets. You can see 1 in square bracket, 0 in square bracket. So the first value, first index represents the row index and the second index represents the column index. Second index represents the column index. Now you can see it is printed subject codes 1 in square bracket 1 in square bracket 0. So this represents in the list subject codes row number, row index is 1, column index is 0. So row index 1 means at index position 1, nested list, the list at index position 1. So list at index position 1 is English, 85. In that 0th index value, column index is 0, that is first. Here first 1 represents row index and 0 represents column index. So in the row number 1, that is this, column means, column 0 means English. Row is 1, column is 0 means English will be printed. Again in the print statement, subject code square bracket 1 comma 1, that is in row 1, that is English, 85, value at column 1, that is 85. So the output is obtained as English 85, English space 85. This is not obtained in a list. It is just printed as a single value. Let us see one example of aliasing. You can see I am giving a name A, which is a list. A is equal to, since it is a list, I am representing it in square brackets. So list containing integer values 1, 2, 3. Now created a list A containing values 1, 2, 3. Now I am copying the value list A to another list B. So here A is also existing and B is also there. So B is equal to A. So B is equal to A. Now we have copied the contents of list A to list B. Now if I write, now if I print B, you can see B is also 1, 2, 3. Now we are changing the contents of B. B index position, index 1, B of 1, I am changing to, replacing it with 9. Now at index position 1 in list B, at index position 1, we are changing the content by 9. Now after executed, and then if we print B, now you can see 2, which is at index position 1, is replaced by 9. Now the value, the elements of list B is 1, 9, 3. Now if I print A is equal to, A is also having the value 1, 9, 3. That is, both A and B are pointing to the same memory location. Now instead of this, if I write A is equal to 1, 2, 3, and instead of copying, if I write B is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Now again if I change the content of B of 1 B of 1 is equal to 9. If I print B, you can see B is changed to 1 comma 9 comma 3. 2 is replaced by 9. Now if I print A, you can see A is not changed, because in the previous case we have copied the content of A, list A to B. Here we are just creating a new list. So both the lists are pointing to the different memory locations. So here if I change the content of B, it is not reflected in A, because both lists are created separately. A equal to and B equal to, both are created separately. But in the previous case, I have created a list A, then I have created a list B, that is by copying the content of A, that is B is made to point to the same memory location where A is pointing to. B is made to point to the same memory location where A is pointing to. That is why if I change the content of B, it is being reflected in the A. But here lists are mutable, so both lists are pointing to the different memory locations. Even though they contain the same data, they are pointing to different memory locations. Next topic is comparing list. Python allows us to compare two lists. Each element is individually compared in lexicographical order, that is based in the dictionary. We can apply all the relational operators, less than, greater than, equal to, not equal to, etc. to compare two lists if they are of comparable types. Otherwise, Python flashes an error. So, like comparison done in integers or strings, we can do comparison in Python list also. A list contains more than one element. So, we can compare that to list. So, comparison is done based on the lexicographical order, that is based on the alphabetical order. Now, consider this example. Here we have two lists L1 comma L2 equal to 10, 20, 30, another list 10, 20, 30. Now, here L1 is assigned the first list and L2 is assigned the second list. In this way also we can do assignment. That is, either we can write L1 equal to in square bracket 10, 20, 30. In next line L2 equal to in square brackets 10, 20, 30. Or we can write L1 comma L2 equal to 2 list. So, if we give like this, the first list will be assigned to L1, the second list will be assigned to L2. Now, again we are assigning another list L3 equal to in square bracket 10 comma again a square bracket, that is it is a nested list, a list inside a list. This L3 is a list containing two elements, one is 10 and another is a list containing 20 comma 30. So, L3 is a nested list containing two elements, one is 10, another is 20 comma 30, which is again a list. So, L3 is a nested list containing two elements, only two elements 10 comma another list 20, 30. Then by comparing we use equality operator for comparing, that is equal to operator for comparing whether L1 is equal to L2. So if L1 equal to L2, this equal to will, this relational operator will return true if L1 is equal to L2. So our list L1 and L2 are same. So L1 equal to L2 will return true because the two lists L1 and L2 are same. Now we have a list L3 which contains only two values, and if we do L1 equal to L3, the output is, you can see, output is false, that is L1 is not equal to L3, so it returned false. First it will compare whether the first element in L1 is equal to first element in L3. First element in L1 is what? 10, and first element in L3 is 10. So it is true. Then it will compare the next element. Next element in L1 is 20. Next element in L3 is a nested list. So both elements are not same, so it will return false. As shown in the above example, the second statement evaluates to false because L3 is a nested list and L1 is a simple list. Thus, on comparison, it generates false because of not being comparable types. Further, Python generates the final result of non-equality comparisons as either true or false from corresponding elements comparison. While comparing two lists, it checks element by element comparison. If the corresponding elements are equal, it goes on to the next element and so on until it finds the element that differs. Subsequent elements are not considered even if they are big, as shown in the example below. Now let us consider these comparisons. So here we have two lists. First one is containing 1, 2, 3, 4, and another list contains 4, 5, 6. So in list comparison, even though the number of elements are different, number of elements in a list are different, then also it will compare the first element with the first element of one list with the first element of another list. So you can see here two lists are there. In this, the first element of first list is 1 and the first element of the second list is 4. Now Python will check whether here the comparison operator used is less than. So Python will check whether 1 less than 4. So here 1 is less than 4, so it will directly return true. 1 is less than 4. Next it will compare whether 2 less than 5. Now 2 is also less than 5. Next it will compare 3 less than 6. 3 is also less than 6. So again for 4 no element is there to compare, so it will return true. Now in the second one, two lists containing the same values. Now we have seen while comparing two lists, it checks element by element comparison. If the corresponding elements are equal, it goes on to the next element and so on until it finds the element that differs. Subsequent elements are not considered even if they are big, as shown in the example. Now let us see in this example. You can see second question, second one, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 less than 1 comma 2 comma 5 comma 3. Here the first two elements of both the list are same. Now it will check the next element, that is 3 less than 5. Now this is 3 less than 5 is true, that is 3 is less than 5 is true. So it will not check any other element and it will return true. Now the next example, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 less than 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 2. Now the first three elements are same. So it will check whether the last element, that is 4 less than 2. 4 is not less than 2. So it will return false. Now next example, all the elements are different. So it will check whether the first element, that is 1 greater than 0. So 1 is greater than 0. It returns true. If the elements are different only, it will check, if same, it will check the next element that it differs. So since the first element itself is different, first element of first list is 1 and first element of the second list is 0. So it will just compare 1 is greater than 0. Since 1 is greater than 0, it returned true. For comparing two lists, Python internally compares individual elements of two lists, applying all the comparison rules. Consider the following example. L1 is a list containing two elements 20, 30. L2 is another list containing elements 20, 30. So L1 and L2 are same list, different list containing same values. Then L3 is another list containing strings 20, 30. Then L4 is another list containing floating point values 20.0, 30.0. Then L5 is another list containing three values 20, 30, 40. Now here we are comparing whether L1 equal to L2. So here you can see L1 and L2 are same. So L1 equal to L2 will return true. Now L1 equal to L3. L1 contains integer values and L3 contain strings. Because 20 and 30 are enclosed in single quotes, it will be considered as a string. So it returned false. Next, L1 greater than L2. Since L1 and L2 are equal, it is not greater than. If it is equal, it is not greater than. So it returned false. Next, L4 greater than L1. Since L1 and L4 are contain same values, but one is an integer and other is an floating point, but the ASCII value representing both the numbers are same. So L1 is also equal to L4. So it returned false for L4 greater than L1. So it returned false. Now L4 equal to L1 returned true. For comparing operations, Python ignores the type of elements and compares values only. It compares values only. It ignores the data type. Next is L1 less than 15. for L1 less than 15, first it will check the first two elements are same for both L1 and not 15, L5. L1 and L5, the first two elements are same. So it will check whether the next element is there. In L1 only two elements are there, but in L5 one more element is there. So L1 is less than L5. That is L5 is greater than L1 because L5 contains one more element and the other two elements are same for L1 and L5. In the above example, the second statement L1 equal to L3 results in false value since the type of both the lists are dissimilar. That is, one list is integer and the other is string. In the third statement, the two lists are similar and hence greater than, that is L1 greater than L2 results in false. But when we compare the two lists L1 and L4, which are of integer type and floating point type respectively, it results in true. This is because Python int and float with matching values are considered equal. That is why 20 and 20.0 are considered same. The output becomes true. Therefore, two lists to be equal, they must have the same number of elements and matching values. So two lists should be to be equal, they should have same number of elements and all the elements should be same and number of elements should also be same. Okay, thank you children. Try out these examples.